Today, we're reading. Let me share my. Having difficulties this morning with the computer for some reason. Today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, text 3. We're going to go right straight into the translation. Translation. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words, and mind offer all respects to the descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees. Certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Purport. Here the word udapasya clearly indicates that one should not even slightly endeavor to understand this absolute truth by the process of mental speculation, for it invariably carries one to an imperfect, impersonal understanding of God. The word jivanti indicates that a devotee who always hears about Lord Krishna will go back to Godhead, even if he can do nothing except maintain his existence and hear topics concerning the Lord. Srila Sanatana Goswami has explained the words Tanu Van Manobhihi by the body, words, and mind in 3 ways. In reference to devotees, through their body, words, and mind, they are able to conquer Lord Krishna, thus becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness. They can touch his lotus feet with their hands, call him to come with their words, and attain his direct audience within their mind, simply by thinking about him. In the case of non-devotees, the words Tanuban Manopihi refer to the word Ajita, unconquered, and indicate those who are not engaged in the loving service of Lord Krishna cannot conquer the absolute truth by their bodily strength, verbal expertise, or mental power. Despite all these endeavors, the ultimate truth remains beyond their reach. In reference to the word jitaha, conquered, the words Tanu Van Manobhihi indicate that the pure devotees of Lord Krishna conquer his body, words, and mind. Lord Krishna's body is conquered because he always remains by the side of his pure devotees. Lord Krishna's words are conquered because he always chants the glories of his devotees. And Lord Krishna's mind is conquered because he always thinks about his loving devotees. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained the words Tanuvan Manobhihi in regard to the word namantaha, offering obeisances. He explains that devotees can take full advantage of the transcendental topics of the Lord by offering all respects to those topics with their body, words, and mind. One should engage his body by touching the ground with his hands and head while offering obeisances to the topics of the Lord. One should engage his words by praising transcendental literatures such as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as the devotees who are preaching such literatures. And one should engage his mind by feeling great reverence and pleasure while hearing the transcendental topics of the Lord. In this way, a sincere devotee who has acquired even a small amount of transcendental knowledge about Lord Krishna can conquer him, and thus go back to Godhead for eternal life at the Lord's side. Om Jnanat Mirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Mera Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. So before I begin, I would like to request the blessings of all the assembled devotees, especially senior most devotees, such as um, Adipurush Prabhu here, and I can't see all the devotees, but I only see you. But I seek your blessings so that I may speak something which is in line with our Guru Parampara, that is um, beneficial to our lives, and that our hearts become sublime, become um, that our hearts become fertile ground for the sublime message to take root on. So we are hearing here about something which is very important to know, and not only that, but to understand how it is being said. So it is saying, like, we should not try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, but how is it? By the process of speculative knowledge. So that one sees generally within the humanities that they, and also within the sciences, but not so much in the hard sciences. They don't even care about God, and in the humanities they go like, okay, well, God may be something which is like sort of fiction, but let's see how different places have talked about him and speculate about him. And in some religions, they just speculate completely about what he is, how he looks like. An example of this is the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel if you see, has a beautiful painting, and it's an incredible painting of God, and he is this old man with muscles trying to touch humanity. And that is the vision that a lot of people have of God, which is a very old, muscly guy. Why? Because at that time, the painter Michelangelo was thinking, well, there are no descriptions of God really in the Bible about his physical appearance. We've heard about him in a way that, okay, so he comes as a burning bush, or as a voice in the sky, or even we hear that he came to Abraham as a pilgrim, but there are no descriptions of what he looked like or anything. So all he could do was think about, well, he must be very old because he was there at the beginning of time, right? And he has a lot of power, so he must be like super ripped. Yeah, so that is speculation. That is definitely mental speculation. But in the Vedic literature, we have authorized descriptions about the Lord. And not only that, we also have um, the words of the sadhus that have actually seen the Lord. And besides that, then we have Guru to tell us, who is bringing the tradition down through parampara, to tell us, yes, these descriptions of the sadhus and these words are here in this in this book have been passed down by me, to me by my previous teacher, and they're all bona fide. So we have Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra that are giving us authorized ways of knowing what God looks like. Not only what he looks like, but also what his personality is like, what his activities are in the spiritual world and in the material world, what his relationships are with all the living entities, so many different things. And this 10th canto especially, like one of the where it gets into like the most interesting and difficult to understand sometimes, personality of Godhead, which is Krishna. And so it is saying here, those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge with their body, minds, and words, offer all respects to the descriptions of the personality of activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations. So this idea that we're not even looking at the narrations, just going, okay, I'm trying to read these things, and that's very nice. Now I can go around and tell people what God looks like. But I'm dedicating my life to it. I'm trying to look at these narrations as something that, okay, how can I dedicate my life to this person? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that after many births, what does one come to? To surrender to him. Many births means, like we've been hearing about these narrations. We've been understanding God, and finally we come to know who God is. And what do we do with that knowledge? We surrender. We surrender to him, because that is what all of the scriptures tell us. That here is God, and you should surrender unto him. And furthermore, we're hearing here about the word tanuban manobihi within the purport, by the body, words, and mind. And Sanatana Goswami is explaining it in three ways. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining it in for the devotees. So for the devotees, what does it mean? This Tanuvan Manobihi with the body, mind, and words. The sannyastic, if you remember, is actually three sticks. It has three parts to it. And why does it have three parts to it? But it represents the body, the words, and the mind that the sannyasi is dedicating his life to. So okay, when I take sannyas, then I'll do this tanuman manobihi. No, you don't wait until sannyas to do this. If you do, then you may never get there. What we want with this with the sannyas is that by then you should already have practiced all of your life to do this thing. Prabhupada said that these grihastas, they're like the sannyasis. Why? Because they're dedicating their body, words, and mind. So even if you're a brahmachari right now, or a grihasta, or a vanaprastha, we should all be striving. We should all be striving for this tanuban manobihi, to dedicate our body, words, and mind to the Lord. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining here very beautifully how we can do each one of these things. Is that in regards to the word namantaha, offering obeisance. So he's saying that one should engage his body by touching the ground with his hands and hand while offering obeisances to the topics of the Lord. Okay, so offering obeisances, we can use that, with the body. Also engaging my body in service to the Lord by doing something practical, right? Like going out and helping Adij Purush Prabhu in serving prasad to the people. That's one way to do it. Using the body in maybe going to the temple and making gardens for Shishirata Murlidhar. There are many different ways in which we can use the body to do this. One should engage his words by praising transcendental literatures such as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as devotees who are preaching such literatures. So here's a very important thing. So one is not only just like say Jai God, but also his devotees. In the Nectar of Instruction, it is said that who is a neophyte, who is a Kanishta Adhikari, is a person who, it is not saying like, oh, it's a person who is just learning how to chant. No, they're saying, it says there that it's a person who actually praises God, who is doing, like a lot of, who can see the God in the deity, but not in the devotees. Somebody who is bickering, who is gossiping about the devotees, that is a Kanishta Adhikari, according to the first to the Nectar of Instruction, because as we're looking at the deity, we're saying, okay, so God is there, but where is God? He's not only in the deity form. God is in the hearts of all living entities, and that Samadarshina, according to the Bhagavad Gita, that equal vision of seeing God in everyone is what you consider a learned person. And so to be able to rise above the level of Kanishta Adhikari, of the lowest level of being a devotee, to a Madhyama Adhikari, we should be able to treat others, understanding that God is in their heart. This creates compassion. This creates humility. You want to know how to create, how to develop those qualities of humility and compassion. There's one way, one very powerful way, and which is to understand that God is within their hearts. When we're offering obeisances, understanding that God is to somebody, is understanding that God is within their hearts. And then it says that one should engage his mind by feeling great reverence and pleasure while hearing the transcendental topics of the Lord. So that is what we're doing right now. When you're listening, as you're listening, you're trying also to engage the mind, to understand the topic, to go like, okay, well, how is this thing that he's telling me applying specifically to my life? How am I going to make this practical? Which goes back to the beginning here, where it says dedicating their lives to the narrations, right? How can I make this something part of my life, so that I don't walk out of Bhagavatam class the same way that I walked in? I want to have a transformation. I want that going to Bhagavatam class actually makes a difference in my life, even if it's a small difference. Let me try to apply something, at least today, so that my life is just a little bit different than it was when I walked into Bhagavatam class. Otherwise, what am I doing here? Why? This is part of the cleansing process. It's trying to see, okay, what is it that is being conveyed to me, and how can I change my mind, my heart, my life in such a way that I can go a little bit closer to Krishna today. That is what we want every single Bhagavatam class. And if we're doing that daily, monthly, yearly, then it accrues. It accrues a lot. And so it is also said here that which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees certainly conquer your lordship, although you're otherwise unconquerable by anyone within 3 worlds. So this idea that the Lord is conquered, although he is unconquerable, these 2 things are, you go like, how is it possible? You have a very tiny jiva who has 0 power, compared to the infinite amount of the Lord. And how is he going to conquer him, and like that? And the reason is bhakti. The reason that this is possible is because of bhakti. Because bhakti is so powerful that even just a drop of bhakti, even just the tiniest drop of bhakti, is so powerful that it can conquer the Lord. Because what is that bhakti? That bhakti is coming from Srimati Radharani. And she can conquer God. So that's why, we pray to Radharani to please help us. Because we by ourselves, we're not able to conquer God. We're asking her for her grace. We're asking her that we may be able to actually do something with a little bit of bhakti for God. And if she becomes pleased with us, then it can be done. And especially when she comes in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the most merciful avatar of the Lord, then it is possible. And the representation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful part of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda's representative is Guru. So by Guru's mercy, we get that possibility, that Bhakti Lata Bij. We get that possibility of actually giving God something with bhakti and be able to conquer him. So I'm gonna stop here for a minute, see if there are any comments, questions, wisecracks.
Great class, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Jamuna Jaya, we briefly saw your bright face.
I was just thinking that last thing that you said about the Guru and mercy makes me think of the beautiful offering that Adi Purush did for Vyasa Puja, for Prabhupada. Your beautiful song, Adi Guru Dev, by a drop of your mercy, let the sinner always abide. Give me strength in adversity. Cool my soul, it burns with pride. I might be getting the words a bit wrong, the way you wrote them, but the way you, Murli, were just saying about the mercy of Guru just made me think of the way that Adi expressed it so beautifully. So how do we, how do we get it? We get it through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, like you said. So just wanted to praise Adi in those lyrics.
Great grandfather Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that song, not me. We translate to English, but it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song. Could you hear that?
Yes, yeah. But I always think of you, and because you sing it so beautifully. So.
But, I love that reference you made, Murli Gopal, to the Sistine Chapel ceiling. We can't compare the beauty of Krishna and his threefold bending form and Lord Chaitanya, dancing to that form of the Lord. But I always thought that was so cool, this guy floating in the air with the big beard and the muscles, reaching out to man. He got something. I'm sure Krishna appears also like that. That's the way Krishna appeared to him. I don't want to negate that and throw that out because it's
we accept the intention. We accept the intention. There was certainly desire to manifest God there.
Yeah. Didn't you find that was such a fantastic painting? He's reaching out, and man is also reaching out. He's touching man with his finger. It was just so cool.
I see.
I would like to.
Yes, Prabhu.
Haribol, how are you doing, Prabhu? What a wonderful class.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Murli Gopal. I would like to actually gently agree. There are many who say, "Oh, is God four-handed?
Viva Prabhu, is your microphone covered?
On a tiger?" Yes. Oh, you can't hear me?
I'm trying to hear you,
Bhima. Maybe it is.
Very difficult to hear you.
Not very clear. It looks like you're.
Can you hear me now?
On your mic. Yeah.
How about now? Can I hit now?
Good.
Am I okay?
You're okay now. Yes.
All right. So let me just read a little bit deeper into the Bible. This is Song of Solomon in the description of God, or the beloved with a capital B. My beloved is radiant and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000. His head is purest gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by the water stream, washed in milk, mounted like jewels. His cheeks are like beds of spice, yielding perfume. His lips are like lilies, dripping with myrrh. His arms are rods of gold set with topaz. His body is like polished ivory, decorated with lapis lazuli. His legs are pillars of marble, set on bases of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as its cedars. His mouth is sweetness itself. He is altogether lovely. This is my beloved. This is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. So if we learn to look a little bit deeper in all our Shastra, we will find that the love is always present in the sequence of description. With Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you very much, Bhima Prabhu. I didn't know that this was from Solomon, you said?
Yes, this is Song of Solomon. It's about the soul. It's common amongst those mystics who read Song of Solomon or the Song of Songs. That this is a poem of the love of the soul of Jerusalem, the spirit of Jerusalem with God, with Yahweh. And it's about the soul reaching out and meeting God. God goes away, there's separation, and there's a bit of the Madhura Ras presence as well.
Thank you so much. I had not heard that, and it actually describes, black curly hair. That God has
And
black
lapis
curly.
lazuli. Lapis lazuli. Actually, there's other quotes. I couldn't find them, which are even more descriptive of God in this form as a lover. Remember, we have God also as Nrsimhadev. And if people were to only read of Nrsimhadev's pastimes, they would say, oh, God is this burly, muscular, lion-headed man who rips people to eviscerate demons. But Krishna appears in all sorts of forms. And here in Song of Solomon, somewhat hidden, is God as the beloved to his lover. And also says about his body is like polished ivory decorated with lapis lazuli. And I believe lapis lazuli is a dark blue mineral.
Yeah, I guess that description got a little bit lost, in a lot of people. But thank you for bringing it up.
Hare Krishna. I hope you enjoyed it.
Totally. Thank you, Prabhu. And Ananda Manjari, she has been raising her hand for a long time, and her virtual arm must be ready to fall off.
Thank you so much for your compassion. Yes, I have 2 points, and thank you. One is I just wanted to add to your reference of Sistine Chapel, because I find while this is not such a accurate representation, one point is very true, and this is that when you look at David, he actually is more relaxed than God reaching out to him, which is very true, how Krishna is actually putting more effort to connect with us than we are putting to connect with him. So in that way, I find that it's at least inspiring to see that this has been preserved, this sentiment that Krishna is really missing us.
Yeah.
And we are just starting to miss him. So that's the first point. Would you like to respond to it?
No, please go ahead so that you can get all your points across.
Thank you. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that when you were speaking about conquering the Lord, I found that I have some resistance hearing the word conquering in that context. And especially, I just want to understand, what does that mean, especially when we are cultivating surrender and yet we are trying to conquer him. So could you really speak to that? Because I'm sure that this is not the meaning that is usually the meaning we use with
Say that again. Which meaning?
The meaning of word conquering, which usually implies authority and trying to control someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's begin with that one. Conquering. What do we mean by conquering? The word conquer, yes, you can mean by authority, by power, by okay, now you do as I do because I have conquered you, right? And the other person is like rah rah rah, right? What else can I do at this point? I have to submit. But there's a second understanding to conquering, and is to conquer by love. Yes, you're still doing you're still doing something like that. You're still the person will say something and you will do it, but it is out of love. For example, a mother, she can conquer physically a child, no problem. If the child is like, no, 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 like that, she can just like, okay, now, you submit. Now you have to do what I tell you, like that, right? So she can conquer him physically. If they go in a wrestling match, the mother, with the baby, will win victoriously. But if you see, it's generally the other way around. The mother is conquered by the baby, and she will do absolutely anything for the baby. And if the baby, like just cries, she will run all around the house and to get something for the baby, or to do something for the baby, out of love, because she loves this baby. She has been conquered by this baby, even though physically, the baby could never conquer the mother. So that's a way to look at conquering, and it's to conquer by love. And what was the first thing that you said again? Oh yes, the Sistine Chapel. That man is like, yeah, well, I'm sort of like trying to touch you right there, but not really. We see that every day when we're doing our job. We're sort of there. We're trying to do something. Yeah, Krishna. Yeah, here are my rounds. They're sort of okay, like that. But oh, what was that on Instagram? Oh, what was that? So, I remembered something funny, so now I'm going to look it up or something like that. Or yeah, we're sort of trying like that, while Krishna's going like, okay, here's my holy name. With my holy name, you'll be able to access everything. The spiritual world. All love, all happiness. Like just take it like that. So we can definitely see that every day. And again, it's little by little. If I can at least reach out a little bit more today, let me try to do at least a little bit more today than I did yesterday, in terms of paying attention. Let me try to like maybe do a little bit more physically, to serve the Lord today. Let me do a little bit more in terms of my words today than I did yesterday. Tanuvan manobihi, with body, words, and mind. Let me try with these three things a little bit more today. Then I'll be reaching out. I'll be reaching out more and more towards the Lord. And for every step that we take, Krishna takes. I've heard like 10 steps towards us. I've heard 1,000 steps towards. Krishna will definitely do much more to reach out to us, to close that gap between us. So the idea is meditating throughout the day. How can improve in these three aspects, just a little bit more today. And it is 8 o'clock, and I have to leave right now. I'm sorry, but I have to today I have a Vyasa Puja that I have to attend to here in Alachua.
I thought you were having Vyasa Puja.
No, it's a Vyasa Puja that I have to that I have to attend to. It's today's the day that they do it. So even though it's not the actual day, and so I'm trying to do a little bit extra today to be able to reach out to Krishna in that way.
Nice. A very transformational class. Thank you. You're transforming us. We're walking out of this class better than we were before. I can see Adipusha Prabhu is just a different person. Look at him. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. We can have Murli Gopal Prabhu. Thank you very much. You're free to go, but we're going to stick around for darshan and some reflections and transformations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Again, sorry for coming in late.
Oh no, thank you very much. Great class. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hari.
Okay, there's one reflection that I wanted to make. When Murli Gopal Prabhu was speaking about Kanishta Adhikari, which is what I identify as, he was saying that Kanishta doesn't see Krishna in devotees. And to overcome this Kanishta tendencies, we must focus on the fact that Krishna is in the devotee's heart. And I was thinking, yeah, that's right. At the same time, we love devotees. We want to love the devotees for who they are. And I was thinking of Bhima Prabhu. Why do I love Bhima Prabhu? Krishna is in his heart, definitely. That's a fact. And then I was thinking, I also love Bhima Prabhu because he's unique Vaishnava. There's no other Bhima Prabhu. There's no other Adi. There's no other Jamuna Jaya. The devotees are unique. And I was thinking, where is this uniqueness coming from? And then I thought, Krishna is unique. He's a person, and therefore we are unique. Krishna is the source of all uniqueness. And we love devotees because they are unique, which is the quality that is ultimately coming from Krishna, who is the ultimate unique God, source of everything. That's my little tirade. I'm done. Who'd like to go next? Bhima Prabhu? You're muted. You're muted.
I'm I'm going to be quiet. I'm wallowing in your love. I'm just basking in the love that you just gave. But I do agree. Uniqueness is quite the opulence to have. That individuality is the blessing that we have amongst us. And
Hold on, Bhima Prabhu.
Shell blow. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Kanshal, yeah. Thank you. Gajendra Kanshal. This is Gajendra calling out to the Lord. Adipusha Prabhu, we belong to the donation box. Please. Oh, he's showing us. Oh, yeah, Srila Prabhupada. Krishna lifting Govardhan. Okay. Camera's on. Please stand up. Time to be seen by the Lord. Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Thank you, Adipurusha Prabhu, for the darshan. So if anyone would like to reflect, now is the time. Unmute yourself and reflect. Reflections, transformations, now is the time. Rich Bhakti, are you transformed after the class? You look like you're going through a major transformation of the heart.
Well, that's hard to say. I'll leave that up to you. But one thought, I was just thinking how the mind, in a way, may be like a canvas, and we may paint Krishna or anything, however we may wish, but ultimately, as I was mentioning yesterday, the heart is a mirror, and that mirror has nothing to speculate upon, nothing to concoct it. It's just meant to reflect God's own love and beauty. And we may take these individual qualities like humility or compassion or charity or austerity and so forth. The list goes on and on. And we may take them in our mind and speculate on them and figure out, okay, how do I do this? How do I get that? But ultimately, I think to use that metaphor of just reflecting the beauty in others, to see God everywhere, to see the beauty, the uniqueness, the unlimited opulence of God in everything and everybody. That's ultimately how we automatically, inadvertently acquire good qualities. It's by focusing on God and not so much on what's in our own minds or what we may wish for ourselves externally or internally. And so I would say that the transformation there is I'm just appreciating how Ananda Bhari is so often inspiring me. I call you my miracle. Just seeing you reflecting on Bhima's uniqueness and beauty, and ultimately on the God within his heart. I think that's the path to all good qualities and to happiness ultimately. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rich Bhakti. Beautiful reflections. Vaisheshika Prabhu, if you say something nice about him or his class, he'll immediately say, what does he say? Who can guess? It's a three, right? It's a 4-word. What's it?
Well, glories to Prabhupada.
That's what Adi Purusha Prabhu says when you glorify him. Vaisheshika Prabhu says he has a different one-liner. Who knows what it is? It starts with, I'll give you the first word, right. Great class, Vaisheshika Prabhu. You're such a wonderful Vaishnava. And he'll say, right. Okay, I'll say it right back at you. Right back at you. He immediately reflect, and we pass it on to the Guru Parampara. We don't take any credit for anything. Bhima Prabhu, are you taking credit for your beauty, or are you passing it on?
I'm also, I've never had my name and the word beauty mentioned in the same sentence. So I'm just going to grab that and just run with it. I'm not giving it back to anybody. I'm going to go look in the mirror and see what it was that he saw. The mirror of my mind. Now, I tell you, I do just want to reiterate that one of the attractive qualities about this movement is because of the characters. Everybody in this movement is a character. Especially at New Vrindavan, we were the characters of characters. But I've never met a devotee that I didn't like. You know, I never met a devotee that I didn't like. Even the ones I vehemently disagree with, I still love them. And it's just like Rich was saying, you know, you see Krishna in their heart, and it's a lot easier to see Krishna in the heart of a devotee because they're purifying themselves or they're talking about Krishna. And so that, of course, makes them very attractive. And sometimes even the ugliest of mugs, right here, the ugliest of mugs and the word beauty can be put in the same sentence. So thank you very much, Rich. I will probably hold on to that till the day I die. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Ananda Manjari.
Hari. So I wanted to add to what you reflected about Kanishta devotee. And it just reminded me of chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, where the term vibhuti is mentioned, which can be defined as one above the many manifests as the one among the many. How the qualities that we see as attractive in others are simply, they remind us of the capacity of Krishna to attract us through those qualities, because they essentially come from him. So this is just a way for us to reconnect with him, if we just remember that this is just originating in him.
Yeah, thank you, Ananda Manjari. It makes me think of a point that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would make. He would say, if you see good in others, then you attract those qualities, you acquire them. And the same goes for the bad qualities. If you see that in others and if you highlight that in others, if that's all you see in others, then that's what you're getting. That means that you have those qualities, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see them. So it's a very good way of seeing where we're at. If we see something bad in others, then we should know that this is the area that we should focus in our own development as a devotee. Just a small point. Sundaranandaji, would you like to reflect?
I'm sure, Prabhu. All right, thank you. I was thinking about that aspect of uniqueness. And yeah, I was thinking maybe we can even extend it as far as saying, our three aspects that we have, right? Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So our gurus are unique. Like you mentioned, Vashishka Prabhu has this unique line that he comes back with, and it resonates and rings with us, stays with us. Also in Sadhu, like Rich Prabhu and others mentioned, like each devotee is unique, like you said, your point earlier. And then Rich Prabhu, he tied it really well with how we can see that in everyone. And finally, Shastra, each canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam is really unique. The fifth canto, I can't think of anyone else other than Murli Gopal Prabhu to present that. He has this scientific aspect. So I think all that is motivating to us. All right, thank you, Prabhu.
Beautiful elaboration, Sundarananda Prabhu. Very impressive and devotional. Yeah, and even if when we read something that we have read before, it's unique. Every single time you read it, it's different. So yeah, amazing. Adipusha Prabhu, we see you still here. Would you like to say something?
Rich made a very good point about how if you see Krishna everything and everywhere and everything in me, you're always with him. And it says that since Krishna is the reservoir of beauty, if you see it, Krishna everywhere, you'll see beauty everywhere. Right? Prabhupada said like that. If you see Krishna everywhere, you'll see beauty everywhere.
Yeah, Krishna everywhere. Like Lord Nrsimhadev everywhere. Krishna everywhere.
And it said, Jesus said that thing where he said, if they try to stop me from speaking, these stones will rise up and say what I have to say, because every single molecule in the creation is glorifying God. You know? True, huh?
Yeah. So next time I see a stone standing up, I'll think of Krishna. Thank you, Adipusha Babu.
See Krishna everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. Okay. Would anyone else like to share? Yeah, all the devotees are unique, especially Bhima Prabhu. No? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Beautiful session as always. See Krishna everywhere, even in your wife. It's a joke. Joke. Okay. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful day. Love you all. Hari Hari Bol.